As you guys know, Simon and I are obsessed with property, which is why in today's video, we wanted to share 4 of the favorite properties that we've bought for our clients in the last month.
Now, one of my favorite buys over the last month with this super neat and tidy little 3-bed, 1-bathroom house down in West Melbourne in a suburb called Melton West that we picked up for just $575,000. So there is still some really undervalued properties in the country. To think that this thing is only 40 kilometers from the Melbourne CBD and it can be bought at such a low price is incredible. Now, we bought this for a lovely couple from down in Sydney named Kieran and Katarina, who live at the foothills of the Blue Mountains. Kieran, working as a physiotherapist, and Katarina as a publicist, came into us with their own home already purchased down there in Sydney, which is insane to think they've already cracked into the Sydney market at such a young age. But what they meant is they came to us with a maximum budget of $600,000. Now, obviously they wanted to buy a house in a major metro market that was low maintenance, tenant ready, not too far away from the city. So we identified this property down in Melton West that ticked every single one of their investment goals. Now, this is an incredible start for first-time investors to get their foot in the door, to start building a high-quality property portfolio. And what Kieran and Katarina hope to do in the years to come is expand their property portfolio a little bit further, and over the next 15 to 20 years, hope to replace their combined annual salary of over $200,000 so they can generate a passive income and live a life filled with choices to be able to support their family and live a life on their own terms.
Now, one of my favorite properties in the last month was picked up for one of our clients, Matt, who's a fly-in, fly-out worker. Now, Matt came to us looking to do something a little bit different. Not only did he want a house in the Brisbane market leading up to the Olympic Games, but he also wanted a place with renovation potential at the front and the ability to build a second property or a duplex out the back. Now, Matt picked up this 3-bedroom duplex site on a massive 720 square meters in a suburb called Waterford West on the southern side of Brisbane. And Matt's plan for this property longer term was to keep the existing home and clean it up a little bit and then build for maybe $400,000 a second property at the back that on completion would be worth at least $750,000 to $800,000 on its own. Now, Matt had some pretty big goals, which I completely loved. At the age of 35, this was his first investment property, but he wants to pick up another 2 before he's 40. After watching our 2 properties, the financial freedom video, he also has a huge goal of paying off these properties completely outright over the next 15 years and retiring early at the age of 50. Now, being a first-time investor from the Sunshine Coast, but having a much more advanced strategy, Matt knew that he needed a partner because it wasn't just the case of jumping on realestate.com, picking up the phone and speaking to a few different agents. Matt knew that he needed a town planner, building and pest inspector, builder, a great solicitor, a great property manager, and a strong team of advisors to execute a more advanced strategy like a duplex in Brisbane. Now, the plan for this property was obviously to get a tenant on the front home and get some income or some rent coming in immediately. And then while there's cash flow security on the property, in the background, we can work on things like site design, the actual design for the 3 or 4-bedroom home he's going to build out the back, going to the market and looking at a whole bunch of different builders to get some incredible prices and then selecting the right partner to move forward with.
Now, the next property I want to talk about today, in my opinion, was an absolute steal. Bought for $976,000. You've got this beautiful low maintenance 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, low set brick and tile house on a 600 square meter block in a suburb in southeast Brisbane called Redland Bay. Now, the reason I love the southeast beaches in Brisbane so much is when you compare them to the beaches in Sydney, Melbourne, and even Perth, they're still absolutely dirt cheap, and you can find these lovely low maintenance properties all over the place at the moment for less than $1 million. Now, Raj and his wife both work in the medical industry doing big hours, and with a young family, they really didn't have the time to go out there and source their own investment property. So we helped them learn more about the Brisbane property market, and after a couple of weeks, we found this incredible property that we've been able to pick up for them. Now, Raj and his family are hoping to work towards generating a passive income of over $100,000 within the next 15 years so that they can have an early retirement in their mid-50s. So this property is an incredible start to their investment journey, and I look forward to seeing how it influences their life in the future.
Now, the 4th property, and by far one of my favorite properties we've bought this year was for our clients Marty and Nat, and we picked up this bad boy for about $1,075,000. Now, as you can see, this stunning home, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, is walking distance to the beach, beautifully presented inside, and has the pool, which I know a lot of investors don't love. Pools in Queensland can get you at least $50 to $100 a week more in rent, and a lot of the pain of pools can be passed on to the tenants with the right wording in the tenancy agreement. Now, according to the guys in the Australian Financial Review, properties like this on the beaches of Brisbane are expected to go from around about that $1 million mark today to somewhere between $1.3 up to $1.5 million between now and the 2032 Olympic Games. Now, Marty and Nat have a great combined income. They've already got their own home and one very high quality investment property worth over $3 million combined, and they're sitting on a phenomenal stock portfolio as well. Now, when we originally spoke, these guys also had the massive goal of being completely financially free and retired within 10 years from today. Now, being such high income earners, they're extremely time poor, and they were suffering with a bit of information overload in terms of choosing which state, which capital city, and which particular suburb to invest in. And after slowly working through the 4,000 suburbs that Simon and I look at each year, we're able to find this incredible beachside suburb on the northern beaches of Brizzy. Now, being time poor, they wanted to invest in a home because they knew that houses had outperformed units over the last 30 years in Australia, according to CoreLogic. One of the cool things about the 4 different properties that we've talked about today is the fact that there is a price point and a budget for everybody, whether you're looking at $500,000 or $600,000 houses or townhouses in Melbourne, properties with a little bit of a twist like the second one that we talked about from that with duplex potential, or if you're a high income earner and you're just looking at phenomenal assets that will grow in value over the next 15 or 20 years, then beautiful properties like these last 2 on the beaches in Brisbane are available for phenomenal prices today. G'day guys, my name's Ben and I'm the director here at Pumped on Property, and I just want to say a massive thank you for watching our content today. Now, if you're thinking about buying an investment property in the next 3 to 12 months, then the team and I would love to offer you a one-on-one strategy session. In that session, we can talk about exactly where you are right now, where you'd like to be longer term, and we can deeply educate you on the Australian market. And then you can take that information and go and absolutely smash it on your own, or potentially become one of the small number of clients that we work with each week. To book your session, all you have to do is go to www.pumpedonproperty.com and click that book your free strategy session button. But either way, we wish you all the best on your journey as an investor to financial freedom.